Sasha has just confronted the group. She says that she'll lead you out, except for Hack. Artigan, you're fighting this spider. She looks over and she's like, "Stop!" And when she does that, the spider immediately recoils, turns around, and runs away. Opportunity. When she does this, everyone give me a perception check.
Perception.
Everyone.
Do I trust it?
Oh, sorry guys. Plus 11.
12.
18.
Wow. Nice job, guys. You all succeed as a group. You notice that when she says that and that spider recoils, you see a lot of different insects that are crawling around immediately start crawling away. You see some spiders that are on the ground that you didn't even really notice them before. They had all been collecting around this area. They move away, and she seems to have command of these insects, of these arachnids. She looks over at you, and you, well, actually she can't see Artigan. You're around the corner still.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can all come with me to the River Dark, and when we get there, we'll lead you out.
As someone who's not all that familiar with the underground, is the Underdark, which direction?
The River Dark?
Yeah. Where are we going?
The River Dark.
The River Dark. Under the river? A dark river.
No. Listen, the River Dark is where we live. It's about a day's journey away from here, but it leads directly into Riverstorm. That is where you're going, correct?
I believe so, yeah. That would be the best way out of here.
Give me a perception check.
21.
All of you.
16.
Y'all hear footsteps coming from that same tunnel that she had come out of with the 4 fire-breathing hounds. And you hear more footsteps approaching. And then you see another 6 drow approaching through this tunnel.
Beautiful in a group.
I don't think we have much choice here. I think we probably have to go with them, guys.
Can I touch the queen on shoulder, hand, whatever, and cast invisibility on her?
Do you have to touch to cast the spell?
It says the range is touch, yes.
She is right next to you at this point. She had been slowly moving your way, and she is right there. You can cast invisibility.
Okay, I'll do that.
Artigan touches the queen. Garavon, your passive perception of 15, you do see this. It's happening behind you and out of sight of Sasha. The queen disappears. As those 6 drow walk into the room, there are 3 what look to be warriors, and there's a couple that are in robes, and 1 that's holding a bow. Sasha looks at everyone. She says, "Seize them! Take them to the dungeons!"
It would appear we've been double-crossed.
The drow walk in, swords drawn, bows drawn.
Put my hands up. Or hold them out, depending on how they want to seize me.
And they start manacling everyone.
Okay.
If you hold your hands out, or
is
if you put your
Nara-
hands up.
Nara getting...
They approach Nara. This is all happening simultaneously. 1 drow approaches you, Artigan, walks through the tunnel. Put your hands behind your back.
Hands behind the back.
Same for you. He takes your bow.
Oh, my.
He takes your staff. You don't have a sword.
Nope.
He takes your shield. They methodically strip you of weapons and trinkets and items and bags.
Our clothes.
Your clothes. They search your persons. They take your robe.
Nora was wearing it.
They take her robe. And while this is happening, Sasha was talking to one of the male drow. You are the only one near enough that you might be able to hear some of what they're talking about.
8.
No, it's pretty quiet.
Clink, clink,
It's
clink,
not
clink,
right
clink,
next to
clink,
you,
clink,
and you're a
clink, clink.
little flustered of what's going on. Everything's happening at once. She ends her talk with this drow captain, and she heads out of the tunnel. And now you're left with just the drow and the hounds, completely stripped of weapons and manacled. She takes Hack with her, and you see her slap on a spiked collar around his neck as he's struggling. He's like, "No! No! No!" And you can hear him twisting and thrashing the entire way out, crying, "No!" until it's quieter and quieter, and his voice is now just bouncing off the walls in an echo.
So we're not going the same direction? Or something?
Not yet. They left before everyone's even stripped of items. Takes about 10 minutes to go through everyone's persons. Did anyone want to try and hide anything?
I really don't got anything to hide.
I'm assuming they're gonna look specifically for my casting focus. So I suppose I would try to palm that or something. I'm not particularly good at that sort of thing.
Give me a roll.
Come on, buddy! What is that? Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand.
11.
11. So they are searching you. As you grab it and try to slide it off your neck quietly, the drow, he's got these pale eyes and this black hair, and it's kind of short down to here, slicked back, these sharp ears and dark skin. He looks at you, he's like, "I'll be taking that." Grabs your hand, turns it over, and in your palm you're holding the medallion of Palor.
Mm-hmm.
Takes it out of your palm and pockets it. They're putting a lot of the items together.
He probably also finds these.
What are these?
Those are things that have been in Merritt's pocket since the beginning. And they're potentially appropriate for the situation.
I'm keeping a mental note of where Delorme's sword is put, because that's my sword at the moment. So.
Okay, so they're putting the weapons together in a pile on a cloth and folding that cloth over end. Put the corners in and tuck them in, wrap it up, and they bundle it like a duffel bag. And they start walking you down these caverns. They're walking you separately. There's a hound and 1 or 2 drow.
So how long till the river dark?
Keep quiet. That same drow that took your pendant.
Are we still going to the river storm after this?
You fool. You're going to the dungeons. You will live your days out there. The rest of your life. You guys
That
can
really wasn't
hear
part of the
this.
plan.
It's a little further off. You're not right next to each other as you're walking. You're 10 paces, 20 paces behind each other. Maybe that's not part of your plan. That's our plan.
Oh.
It doesn't
What's
really
the rest of
matter
your
what you
plan?
want, does it?
I guess not at the moment.
Keep quiet. I already told you once. Stop it.
At least I have known it.
They
Nice shoes, though.
have also manacled your friends. The dwarf, the other dwarf, the half-elf. Give me one last perception check, everyone.
Oh no.
Like, notice a
10.
thing. 12.
10.
That's enough as a group.
I did it.
You are being led down these tunnels, and you see all the new alliances that you've made. One in particular has not been seen even before the battle started, and that is the halfling. Easy to forget, easy to hide. You're not sure why or what. They are not here at the moment.
Very nice.
They continue leading you through these tunnels. It's a solemn and quiet journey. Anyone want to do anything in this time? They end up stopping for a break shortly after.
Alright, yeah. I'm going to occasionally cast thaumaturgy. Just change the appearance of my eyes and make slight tremors in the ground.
Does it have verbal components?
Yes.
Are you trying to do it quietly?
Kind of like this guy. I think he's going to change sides and join us. So,
The first time you do it, he notices with the natural 20. He looks over, and as your eyes start flickering and changing and shifting in color, what color are they normally?
they're normally just pure black, like no anything. But I like to use thaumaturgy to make them look like human eyes. So I go the
He
opposite
looks at
direction.
you, he's like, do not cast that magic here. I will hurt you if you do that again.
Oh,
He
I'm sorry to offend you.
unscabbards his sword slightly, just lifts it out of the scabbard about that much.
I'm just gonna say, take it easy. It's just a parlor
Shut
trick.
You're so tense.
None of you talk.
And then, without speaking, requiring only somatic finger waving, I cast Mold Earth behind us. So I just, and I draw little things in the ground, leaving a trail for where we're walking.
Does it require verbal?
No.
Somatic is just movement?
Yep, just movement.
Have a damn inspiration. I hate you so much.
Booyah! Yes!
So you start casting Mold Earth, and you start making the ground raise up here and there. Little marks in the ground, leaving a breadcrumb trail for anyone behind you.
Yep. So they can follow us from further behind. They last an hour. Marks.
Wow. They're not concentration, are they?
No.
All right. They continue leading you through these caverns the entire day until you get to the River Dark. And the River Dark is another expansive city below the underground. It opens up into first a small-ish cavern compared to Grachthendalen, maybe a third the size of the cavern that Grachthendalen is in. It goes back 300 feet. It's about 50 feet high at its highest point. And there's houses and there's towers that are built like columns from the ground to the ceiling. They're built all the way up to the ceiling. There's different stone buildings. There's cellars that go down into the ground further. There's offshoot tunnels at every intersection. It's an expansive network of tunnels and caverns here. And this eventually leads into a larger cavern from one of the offshoots. And in the large cavern is a river that goes all the way through this city. And this cavern is huge. You can't see the end of it, it's so large. And the river goes the entire way through. It's about 40 feet at its widest breadth.
Oh, now I understand why it's called the River Dark.
And the water is not blue. It's sludgy, it's gross, it's stagnant, and it doesn't actually travel like a river would. And they lead you down perpendicular to this river for a while. And then they head off into the side of the cavern where there's another tunnel. And they take you through this tunnel, and then through another, and then through another, on and on. It seems what's another 45 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought we made it.
Double checking, the queen's not with us, correct?
Sasha is not with you at the moment. They lead you into
No, the human queen.
the human queen.
That was invisible.
She was invisible. You don't see her.
There's not some person leading invisible chains.
No.
Okay.
You get into a small tunnel that's about 10 feet across. And in this tunnel, this cavern, the rock is just hewn out of the wall. It's not cut nicely. It's just carved. And each side of the walls is another little tunnel that's carved into that. Not even a tunnel, a little cell. This is the dungeons. And there's many cells, like a little beehive, a honeycomb of cells. And when you walk through, most of them are occupied. Most of them have different people. And you keep going through. And you keep walking through about 5 more minutes past maybe 50 or so cells so far. Until they get to the ends of this tunnel. And it opens up into a large cavern 20 feet around. But before they get you there, there's cells in the front that are vacant. They place each of you in these cells.
So what's the layout of these cells? Can we see each other? Are the cells facing each other? Are we all in a row? 2 rows?
So there are many cells. They are in a row, and there's some that are also across the way. They throw Delaron in one of the cells with someone else by himself. They throw Artigan in the very end cell right before it opens up into that cavern. Make a perception check.
Cacked.
16.
16. It's a pretty easy check, too. The room that It's not an open area in that cavern. It has some small stone benches that face to the very end of the room, and at the very end of that room there is a stone altar that has fresh blood still dripping down it. It's hard to see at first, but you see a body that is just kind of tossed to the side behind the altar, and all you see is the hand and the arm sticking out past the altar itself. But it's lifeless. You can't really tell what they are, but you can see their skin is darker, so you'd assume some form of underdark creature. And this would most likely be an altar for sacrifice or for killing. And then they throw you into the cell, and they throw you in with Darnell, the dwarf. And these cells aren't big enough for 2 people. They're not comfortable. You could both lay down in them, but it'd be a little tight. They have 1 bucket for relieving yourself. And they have metal barred doors in each of them that have been cut specifically for them. The bars themselves are only that thin apart. They're not something you could get through, even if you were skinny. Little creatures could go through them, but you guys could not. Let's see. Merritt, you are thrown in one of the other cells with Borthos, the dwarf. And that would leave Garabon. You're thrown in a cell. It's actually across from Merritt and Borthos, 10 feet across, but you're thrown in a cell with Hack. And he's already there when they open the door. The door creaks open. And you see Hack in the back corner curled up. He doesn't have his cloak or his little hood or his robes. He's just got his undergarments. Completely naked besides that. Curled up in a little ball, and he looks up, and you see his little ears perk up as he looks. Oh, fuck.
Well, this is a fine mess you got us into.
And they throw you in. You stumble in like 3 feet. And then they slam the door. Just sits there quietly.
Well, do you want to have a go at it now, or do you want to wait till later?
What do you want from me?
Just keep quiet. Don't get in our way.
In your way. He doesn't say anything else. Every once in a while he mumbles here and there. Sometimes it sounds like he's talking to Slash again.
I'll just remain silent as well.
He pulls his knees up to his chest and puts his arm around his knees and slowly rocks every once in a while. Mutters.
Could you shut up?
And you see the only thing he's wearing besides his undergarments is this metal spiked collar. Do you have... No, you don't. Never mind. I was going to say, do you have any intelligence skills? But you do not.
Nope.
You are a dummy.
I am horribly dumb. You know what? I'm just going to go up, and I'm going to grab the collar. I'm going to grab him by the collar. Be like... Yervon says...
So you grab the collar, and you try to get your fingers behind that metal, but it's so tight you actually can't put your fingers behind the collar when you grab it. And you see it shift slightly, and it is just ragged and ruined under that collar. You can see bruises the entire way around his neck like a ring.
After I get done trying to grab his collar, I just push him down and be like, what is this place?
We're in the River Dark. The deepest dungeons. This is not the place you want to be. This is for slaves. A lot of people just die down here. No one listened to me. Doesn't matter now, I guess.
We listened to you. We took the Thrak vents.
I said run, we didn't run. I said she's coming after us, no one believed me. Here we are, trapped. Should have just done what she had asked in the first place.
What was that?
Doesn't even matter.
Listen, you son of a bitch. Start
Go ahead
talking.
and roll insight.
All right. Let's see. 5, 7, 12.
That's actually not bad. I did the odd job for Sasha here and there. I would guide people through the Underdark or retrieve this, fetch that, do these little tasks for her. I had another job though. I was supposed to bring anyone from the surface to her. That was my other job. And when I met you guys, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna bring you to Sasha. There was something about you guys. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my sentiment. It's not my sentiment. I couldn't do it.
You were probably intimidated.
That's not it.
I'm sure that was it.
You're not that scary, Garafon. And now, you're just a slave.
I don't think we'll be a slave for long. We're gonna get out of here some way.
You'll die down here. I've already told you that.
I don't plan on dying quite yet. See that tiefling over there?
You betrayed me.
Who? Merritt? Merritt didn't betray you.
You looked at Sasha. The only one I could trust here.
So what
You
you
gave me up. Just like that.
Well, it's the situation, the heat of the moment, I suppose.
In
You're
the heat
actually
of the moment, you learn who you truly are.
well. You didn't really give us much to go on.
I told you, we needed to run.
We couldn't have ran with Delaron. Did you
And
see?
here we are.
He was in rough shape. Is there any way out?
I've never been down here. Last time I was locked up in the Underdark, it was in the Duergar dungeons of Grekhthandalen.
Well, we'll figure it out.
He curls up again into his little ball of goblin. Starts rocking slowly. Switching over to Hardigan. Darnell, as soon as the guards leave, he looks at you. He's like, "You all right?
All right as we can be in this situation.
Where'd the queen? I didn't see her. She didn't come with us, did she? They're gone." You look out the barred door and you don't see anyone around.
Double checking my spells here.
And make sure if you are looking at your spells, if you could cast them, because you need
Material components.
material components. Verbal somatic material.
Okay. I'll keep it really quiet in case there is anybody listening. Be like, I turned her invisible. Just a second.
Don't actually whisper. Mike's won't pick it
Oh,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, that's right. I whisper. I turned her invisible so that she wouldn't be taken.
You don't think anyone saw her?
I don't believe so. You know what happened with the halfling?
No. He ran. We were all running. I didn't see where he went though.
Do you think it might be possible he took the queen?
I don't know. I can only hope. This wasn't part of the plan.
Nothing in this part was. Do you have anyone that might be coming down for us?
No. We were visitors of Riverstorm. There's no one there that... There's only a few people that know we're down here. And we've been down here a while.
Any other word on search parties looking for?
Well, we didn't stick around long enough to know. I'm sure there's many search parties for her. When we had heard that she was taken down here, or possibly taken down here, we weren't even sure on that. Quillen was the one that told us. Quillen's the halfling.
Would you say his priority number one was to get the queen out?
He's an interesting character. I would say his number one priority for a long time has been himself.
It's not sounding good.
Well, we've had some good talks and we've had some heart to hearts. I hope that he's coming around.
All we can do is hope now.
Yeah. Well. He's hoping maybe he'll come for us or something.
I prefer that he goes to the surface and returns the queen and comes back with reinforcements.
May take longer, but
Aye, that'll be another option. We can only hope that he is resourceful enough. Not too far off from Riverstorm from here, they said, right? Shouldn't be
Sounds
that
like it.
long. He does get to the surface. He makes it out unseen. We were a little lost down here already. We've been wandering around for a couple days. When we met you, we had just fought off a very large, very aggressive creature. Not really sure what it was. Its hide was like it was wearing metal plate armor, but it was a beast. We'll go to Brian.
What spells I can still cast?
You're in a small cell with Borthos. He's pretty quiet for the most part. His hair is a light red and it's wild and it's in somewhat of a raggedy shaggedy mullet. He's got a great dwarf beard that had been braided at some point, but most of the braids are starting to loosen and unravel and come down his beard, and it's looking more scraggly than it has. It's got these crooked bottom teeth and a slight underbite. And he has a scar across the bridge of his nose, a deep grooved scar, and piercing blue eyes. But for the most part, he's quiet unless you're the one talking.
About how long have we been down here at this point? Locked in? Just
I was gonna say this is when you guys first get locked up.
Okay.
Introductions.
Mr. Borthos, I don't know if we actually officially met. My name's Merritt Everlight. And as unusual as these rooms are, I'm glad that have good company.
He looks at you quietly. Hi. Good company, huh?
I have a good feeling.
What kind of feeling you got?
Not that kind. I apologize. Any confusion?
I wasn't confused. Are you?
I
I wasn't
am
talking
now.
about that.
Oh,
We've been down here 2 minutes.
yeah.
I
was
don't
just saying
think it
hello.
goes like that.
Good. I mean, yeah, no, it's not really. I was
Are you
mostly
okay
wondering.
there?
I was mostly wondering.
Are you all right?
I think I'm okay now. I'm a bit nervous. This is unusual. I haven't ever been in a jail cell before.
Settle down there, Merritt. You're
Okay.
in this for the long haul.
See, I don't really. The long haul is not really how I hope to pass my time here. I was hoping that we could outsmart them and run away. I mean, each of us made it down here. We have some skills. What kind of things keep you alive in a place like this?
First, you don't want to be nervous. Get past the nerves. Keeps me alive is my strength, my anger, my rage.
Okay. You're kind of a meet your problems head on kind of guy.
And kill them.
Okay. Well,
I like to run my problems through.
you don't ever talk your way out of them, though.
Do I look like I talk my way out of them?
I mean, you
He smiles and you see his teeth go.
I mean, it looks like maybe you try from time to time.
No, Darnold does all the talking.
Gotcha.
He's the leader of our clan.
Yeah, talkers do that sometimes. Do you have your whole clan with you? Did everyone make it? It's kind of hard to see. I was trying not to look around too much. I had kind of a mouthy guide.
I wasn't really paying attention either. I saw Ronell. Think I seen a couple of your friends. Across the way, I saw that elf.
Give me a second, and I go to the door. I say, Nara, did you make it down here?
So you shout for Nara. 5 seconds goes past, and you hear someone go, "I'm Nara." It's definitely a man's voice.
Well, hello, Nara. Which cell are you in?
You should come down here and visit me.
Am I hearing any of this?
Oh yeah.
I'm
It's really loud.
I just can't get.
Merritt,
past
don't
my-
go down to that cell.
You're right across from me, and I'm just like, I can't get out of this cell. I wouldn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
They don't open, do they?
And he continues laughing for another 10 seconds until he finally is like, never mind.
Okay, good joke. How long have you been in here?
You don't hear them respond. And then a few seconds later, you hear, "Shh, quiet." And then you hear the sounds of footsteps off in the distance, echoing off the walls. And you see a drow patrolling the halls, the caverns. Walks past your cavern. He's looking in each cell as he goes by.
I've got like my arms through the thing, my face right up. Like I'm talking.
He smacks your arms with this hardened stick. Whack! As he walks by.
I'm gonna pull my arms in.
Take 4 damage. Keep yourselves inside your cells.
Inside myself.
He gets up close to the cell. You bad-mouthing me.
No, my hearing's just not great. I thought
Keep
you said
yourselves
keep myself
inside
myself.
your cells.
Yeah. All right. And I look over his shoulder and I'm looking at you. Did he just say keep myself inside myself?
I think that's what he said.
That's weird.
If you keep it up, I'll let you out, but you won't be going back in.
Well, that's perfect.
Do you want to rethink how you phrased that? Because that sounds like the dream for a prisoner.
I will kill you.
Ah. Yeah, that is.
Is that enough rephrasing for you?
I guess so. Not really much on sentence variety, but I understand the point.
Keep
at
quiet
least this time.
He stares into the cell for a few more seconds.
I'm kind of sniffing at him. Not talking.
Eventually, he walks down into that room,
Okay, bye.
with the stone benches and the altar at the end. And you see him grab someone by the hands. Well, actually, you don't see it. You hear him tussling with what Artigan had seen earlier, the body. And you hear him dragging something. And he starts dragging a body from that area down the caverns. And the body you see is slit from chest to navel. And they've been gutted. And their lifeless body is being dragged down these halls. Until the footsteps are gone. That's day 1. They serve you the worst meals you've ever eaten. It's worse than rations. It's worse than lentil soups from Oakdale.
Poop soup flambe.
With a lot of fungus and mold and other types of underground growth. It doesn't even seem like it's nourishing.
So I go to the front corner of my cell, one of the hinges, and this is going to be slow, apparently over multiple days. And I put my hand on the hinge, and not requiring material component, I cast Firebolt over and over and over and over and over and over and over again when there's nobody around. And I try to heat that up.
Give me an
and weaken
Arcana
it.
check.
Heat it up and weaken it. Can you stay on the 8 plus 4, 12.
So you do grab it, and when you do, you can tell it's not just metal. It is a metal door, it's metal hinges, but it seems like it's under some sort of enchantments, some sort of incantations that are... What'd you roll, 12?
Yeah.
Oh. That are protection spells.
Okay.
Spells specifically designed to protect them from damaging or wear and tear or things of the like.
Over the course of a day, I would also try the stone, I'm assuming stone wall right near there, and seeing if that similar enchantment seems to be there on all the walls. Floor, ceiling.
So these cells themselves are basically cuts into solid stone, just hewn out of the way and made into little honeycomb cells. Go ahead and give me an investigation.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Investigation is 6.
6. Over the course of the first day, you're testing this out and you're not really finding any vulnerability, any weak points of your cell. Porthos is kind enough to move as you're walking around the cell and trying this out, but otherwise he's rather quiet. Anyone else want to do anything in day 1?
Do I see any rocks or anything on the ground?
Like loose rocks?
Yeah.
Give me an investigation.
Let's see. 12 plus 1, 13.
13. You're trying to feel out yourself, figure out what's in there, which it is pretty barren, but there is one loose chipped rock at the corner of the room in the back. It's hard to notice at first, but then you peel your finger behind your fingernail and you start cracking it, and eventually you can pop it out, and it's maybe 4 inches long and it's pretty thin. It's just a chip out of the wall.
How close am I to Merritt's cell?
You heard him shouting. It didn't seem like you're right next to him. It was a little bit off. In fact, you saw the guy that was shouting at Merritt. And it's this large 6.5 foot tall orc that was in one of the dungeons. He's
Fitting.
completely buck naked, and he was against the cell, and he was rather unstable. So while you're thinking of what you're doing, are you doing anything as well?
Just go ahead and sit down, and I just stare at Hack.
The one thing you've noticed in your cell compared to most of the others, there are some that are similar in appearance. The bars are much, much closer together, made for keeping smaller or thinner humanoids within the confines of the dungeon. You stare at Hack, and every once in a while he'll look at you. He doesn't back down from your stare, but eventually he just trails off into more muttering goblinoid. But if you don't initiate any conversations, he doesn't talk.
Are we gonna have troubles when I go to sleep tonight?
He looks up at you again. You think I'm gonna kill you? If I wanted to kill you, I already would've. You talk real big, Garavon. You shot me once with your arrow. That was the best you got.
No, absolutely not.
Where's your bow now?
I don't think I'd need a bow.
He grins and he's got these really sharp, fang-like teeth. If it came down to it, I would eat you alive. And I'm not saying that in a sarcastic sense. That's not a metaphor. If I wanted, I would eat you alive. But I'm not gonna. You can go ahead and sleep. That would be a mercy anyways. Being down here.
I just shut my eyes.
He goes back to muttering. You eventually fall asleep. Artigan,
think I'll use the rock to try to pick at the hinge where the door is.
Alright. So the same thing, you're trained in Arcana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Over time, as you're picking at it and messing with it, you notice that the rock is slowly chipping away faster than anything is happening to the hinge. There are no dents or scratches on the metal as you're trying to pick at them and loosen them. And eventually you realize that there's an enchantment on these bars. You are pretty sure there's an enchantment around on the walls.
I'll attempt Dispel Magic. Visual and semantic only.
Verbal and somatic.
Or verbal and semantic.
Alright. Go ahead and give me a Dispel Magic roll.
So, let's see. It's above 3rd or lower?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. DC is equal to 10 plus the spell level. I rolled a 10. Plus, I don't know if I'm...
You get half your proficiency bonus.
Which would be 1, so it'd be 11.
Do you get anything else in Dispel Magic? I guess, why don't I read the spell, make sure we're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
You guys in your crafty, wily ways.
We're trying.
DC equals 10 plus the spell level. So I don't think it would work because that would mean that it would have to be 11.
Yeah, so you rolled an 11.
Yeah.
It doesn't take effect. You can tell it's a very powerful enchantment.
Okay. I can try twice a day, so I'll attempt it again.
Alright. Roll again.
And a different die. Worse.
So today, the magic is too strong for your... This is a new spell, correct? You've never used this yet, and you're getting a feel for how this magic works and how to weave it into the enchantment and try to push it out, but you don't. It seems to push back at you today.
Can
So
I make an Arcana check to see what kind of spell it is or what high level it is?
Go ahead and make an Arcana check.
Let's see. 11 plus Arcana is 2, so 13.
13. It seems to be under more than one enchantment, but one that you can tell immediately is some sort of hardening effect to make it extremely durable, extremely strong. That you've passed by a lot of these cells and you see the orc in that cell over there. There are some strong creatures kept in here, and they're still here. But it's not only that one enchantment.
Not able to tell how many there are.
No, not off the bat. You'll need time and
Okay.
investigation and study.
Put the rock in my pocket if I have one.
You have all been stripped down to your garments. So put it in your undergarments. You
Okay.
crotch it.
Crotch rocking.
Alright.
Crotch the rock. Now day one passes. The next day is much the same. Throughout the morning, they serve you a meal in the morning. It's about the same as last. There's not much food to go around. There's just enough to keep you alive. However, the entire day passes uneventfully until the nighttime, unless you want to do anything in between. You're gonna, I'm assuming, attempt to dispel a couple times as well.
I'm going to, if I can somehow sense some kind of magic that would be more of a trigger for, if if this spell goes off, or like if somebody crosses the thing, it makes an alarm kind of thing.
Okay. So you're looking
So-
for like an alarm spell.
Yeah, looking for more like an alarm spell, detection magic, something that allows you to tell if one of the other effects goes
Go
off.
ahead and give me an Arcana.
Ooh.
19.
19. You can tell there is some sort of alarm spell. And it's actually kind of at the threshold of your cell.
Okay. So that is going to be the first one that I'm going to try to dispel.
Okay.
I make a... Is it third or lower? I think it is actually third or lower.
Depends on what level it's cast at.
That's true. You can cast it at a higher level. I don't think it gets any benefits other than not being
Negative
able to
part of the
dispel.
spell. So you will need to roll.
Okay. Try it again. Okay, that time 15.
15 is just enough.
Okay.
You can tell the second shot you use your dispel magic at the threshold, it makes a line that sizzles across the entire threshold, and you see these blue sparks start jumping up off the floor until they dissipate into the air.
I will look at the orc and smile, nod my head a little bit, and then go back.
Oh.
He looked at you as you were doing it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he disappears into the dark of his cell.
Yep.
That was your day.
Has there been any sort of communication from anyone on our captor's side? Is it just assumed that we're here and they bring us a little bit of food? There's no charges, plans, evil monologuing, anything like that yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
It seems like you've been thrown down and forgotten at this point.
Well, I'm sure at some point I noticed that if I stick my tail through the gate, it triggers something. So I'm constantly doing that. The alarm spell, if there is one.
You don't actually trigger anything.
Okay. Then I would say that when I'm casting lots of the flaming bolts, I'm trying to focus to do more with it. And once I get my material components back, if ever, that would be kind of my justification in creating Fireball. It's the expanded version of that, trying harder and harder to maximize that spell.
So give me an investigation check.
14.
14 plus 1. 15.
As you're casting this spell, eventually you find a spot in the back that seems as if it's escaped the enchantment. The stone heats pretty hot. It doesn't resist the effects of the fireball. However, it's only a hole like that big in the enchantment that you can see, maybe a foot around.
And that's the spot.
Pew, 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 pew. And you continually cast and cast.
And I talk
Cast.
to Borthos also, and I make sure he's aware of that spot. If we're gonna get out of here, this spot might be the key.
Right. Well, you keep at it. Make sure it's unseen when they come by.
Can.
We'll make sure someone's on watch for any guards further down the tunnels.
Just keep your ears
You
open.
keep. You guys see light flashes. Boom. 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 Light keeps flashing from Merritt's cell.
Occasionally hear some Gregorian chanting. Boom, boom, boom.
At the end of day 1, you have made some progress on the stone melting away. It's melted like that far, maybe a half a foot.
I figure when we heat it up, like chisel away at it a little bit more too. That probably burns.
Okay. At the end of day 1, meals had been served. 15 minutes after the meal's been served, and you guys have just finished eating everything you have. If you eat it, I assume you probably do. Because you are hungry, and it keeps you hungry. You hear off in the distance a lot of footsteps. Multiple creatures approaching.
I want to shift whatever's in our cell so it's kind of propped up against the wall.
Yeah, you can move the bucket.
Yeah. Move the bucket, and then I sit down on the bucket. Drop trowel, sit on it, and use my back to cover the burn hole.
You hear the footsteps through, and you hear the sound of people talking off in the distance. You can hear it best, but it's still too far off to make out what they're saying or who they are. You hear the cell creak open. Someone muttering something, and then the cell closes. And they start walking your way. When they get past your cell, you're up at the bars looking out, and you see Trogoth walking down with an entourage. He's got 7 other drow. They're all wearing that metal faceplate helmet. A few of them have the spiked horns on top. Give me a perception check.
Pretty sure I don't get any bonuses, but... Yep, 13.
13. He is wearing a crown. That very same crown that you saw in the halls when you were talking to King Hartotha.
He's king now.
And the metal spikes are twisting up, and with a 13, as he passes by, he looks in, he goes, "And this one too?" And 2 guards with 1 drow open your cell and drag you out forcefully if you don't come with them.
I don't see any point of...
If you do come with them, they're still slightly forceful.
Mhm.
They're not being gentle. They pull you out of the cell and they make sure your cellmate is stuck in there, and they close it back up. He continues walking on, and they take you along with them. One more perception check.
8.
8. Not enough. They come by your cell. And your cell. Trogoth looks in. "And that one. We want him to. And that one. Bring him." And he continues down to the end of the cavern.
My good sir, our rescue has arrived. I stand up from the shitter.
That's too much. Give me a perception check, you two.
Those 2?
Yes.
24.
21.
Nice. So Artigan is already being dragged up into that room and set on one of the stone benches. They manacled each of your hands as they drag you out of the cells, and they also manacle your feet. But you two notice, 30 feet back, they are walking Delaron along as well.
I make eye contact.
He looks at
He
you.
can't really tell because it's just one big
Black. Your eyes are just black. He can tell you're generally looking in his direction.
Mhm.
I don't really know how that works.
Yeah.
weird. Make me think all the time.
I use the tip of my tail to point right at him for a second. So he knows.
He nods his head. But you also see behind him, they're dragging along Nara. She is also manacled at the hands. And they walk you all into the room. They push you down onto the benches, sitting down. And they stand guard. Total of 7 Duergar, 2 Drow. The Duergar very much look the same as the elite guards in the castle of Grachthendal, Bloodstone Castle. And they stand very still like a statue against the walls, staring at each other across the way. Trollguff moves to the end of the room. They sit you guys down on the stone bench. And as he passes by, you all notice that he looks slightly different. Although he is still completely bald on the top of his head, and he has this hair that starts from his beard all the way down, it's not gray as it once was. You don't see any streaks of gray. It's a completely black beard with some thin strands of red that go through it. And those aged lines in his forehead and those aged lines that run from his nose to his mouth aren't as deep as they used to be. He looks younger. He looks more virile.
Just like the last king did. The other two, actually.
A little
Herald
closer
and...
to that.
Can I tell with Arcana if it might be the crown that is enchanted to make him younger?
Go ahead and roll an Arcana.
Oh, yeah.
The crown definitely has some enchantments on it. From a distance, without actually investigating the crown itself, you're not able to tell if that's the particular tool that's making him look young. With a natural 20 and Arcana, you would assume that some of his blood magic probably enables life. And that's also possibly what's making him young. You remember hearing rumors about him keeping the king alive for decades. So there's not really any indicator of how old the king was.
Mm-hmm.
You'd assume was, since now Trollguff is king with the crown. They walk Delaron, Cooper, past everyone. He is also in manacles. He's manacled at the feet and he's shuffling along with the chains. And they sit one other person down on the benches as well, and they also sit Hack down on the benches. As Dalaran passes by, he looks at you, Merritt, and he says, I did the math. And they keep moving him towards the end of the room. They set him down on the stone altar, and they shuffle Nara up to the front of the room as well. I am King Trollguff Vilhig. I want you all to witness what will happen to anyone that betrays me. First, I want you to know, slaves are my property, and they are mine to do with what I wish. He makes a motion with his hands, and you see one guard walk up from the back of the room, come up next to him and present him a dagger. He takes the dagger out of his hand, wields it. He walks up to Nara and slices her throat. one quick, swift motion across the throat. Before she even has a chance to jump or cry or flinch, her throat is spilt open and the blood starts dripping down her shirt and her body. You hear the...
I scream, no! And cast Healing Word on her. Healing Word is no.
Does it work?
Yeah, it's verbal. For 6.
So you see the wound start mending as the blood spilling down her body, and she's still like... And she stops, and Trogoff looks and he's like, feed him! And 2 guards step up and move behind you, and they will attempt to grab you.
I'm manacled, right?
So you get advantage.
And I have 8 strength.
A natural
Fight
20 and a
super hard.
16. They grab your arms and they keep them solid and stop you from making any motions. Is it verbal and somatic?
No.
Is
Healing
verbal?
Word is magic because it's just verbal.
And one of them puts a dagger between your teeth. They force your mouth open and they stick the dagger in. He looks down and he's like, if you move, I'm gonna cut you. And Trollgoff looks back. One guard grabs Nara. She's now sobbing and crying. Blood's soaked into her shirt. And he does it again. That's so fucked up. I'm sorry. Right across the throat. He does it the same way, in the same spot. I told you. She is mine to do with what I will. Keep him gagged. As for you, he turns around and he looks at Delaron. My brother, you killed him. My king died of a broken heart. I gave you that leg. I want it back. And when he says that, they shove him down on the stone bench, and he doesn't seem to struggle too much. Twists a little bit, and they grab his leg, and one of the guards comes over and starts cutting with a jagged, sawed blade. And the whole time, they have Delaron's body held down against the stone. He starts screaming. He's like, "Ah! Ah!" And it goes on for 30 seconds while they continue sawing, and you can hear it, and you can hear the muscles splitting apart and the bone starting to be sawed off until the leg is completely detached. The guard grabs the leg, unmanacles his feet, and tosses it to the side. Boom. And you hear the manacles hit the ground along with the leg. Thud! You hear the chains sliding across the stone. And for my king, give me his other leg. And at this point, he's not even struggling. You can see tears streaming down his face from the side. They start cutting into the other leg. They take it off at the hip for another 30 seconds. He's still screaming, but it becomes muffled and painful, and eventually he passes out, stops screaming, and they take the second leg. They throw it off to the side. You still have the dagger in your mouth. The guard's holding onto it tight, and you can feel it just cutting into the ends of your lips and your mouth. Trollguff walks up to you, and you, and you. You're on about the same spots on the bench. You can go back and tell your king in Riverstorm we will not be attending his summons. You can go back and tell him there will be no deals. If he wants to send the emissary down to Grachthan Darlin, I will send him back in pieces. You go tell your king that. He motions to the guards. They all collect their items. They collect the legs. They collect Delaron. They hold him like a sack of potatoes, dripping blood down his back. And they walk him out of the room. And on the way out, one of the guards grabs Hack by the manacles, just picks him up like a rag doll and starts carrying him out too. And Hack's like, "No! No! No!" And he starts thrashing around and twisting and turning in the air like he's flying almost. Just keeps spinning on the chains of the manacles that are digging into his wrists and cutting in. And they leave the halls until their footsteps fall silent. They put you back in the cells and lock you away once again. What's going on? What happened? I saw something. I'm not sure if it's what I actually saw.
That's what you actually saw.
What'd they do? Why'd they do that? This is Darnell talking to you.
Delaran made a deal with him to bring his brother to the surface in exchange for growing his leg back. His leg had gotten taken off. And on the way to the surface, his brother tried to cause Merritt and the goblin Hack to fall because he was trying to kill Hack. And Delaran didn't like that, so he threw him off the ledge. I believe that was the payment that he asked for.
Oh my gods. We can't stay here.
No, we can't.
We need to get out as soon as possible. We need to get back to Riverstorm. Do you have any other plans?
None that are going to be quick.
Well, if there's anything I can do,
No.
I will pray for your friend's soul. I hope that he's still alive. God give him strength. You're now in a cell by yourself. Hack's gone. Across from Merritt, you're in a cell with Borthos. Hasn't really said anything. It leaves you to your thoughts. Eventually, you see and hear the sounds of footsteps and the sounds of Sasha, which aren't really footsteps, they're more of an insect-like creature that enters the halls. She goes to the cell across the way and They open the cell, and from the back, they don't actually grab the orc. They grab a gray-skinned, you assume maybe a drow or something, and they take him away as well. That one too. Take him as well. She turns around and looks at you. It seems that your friend has made a deal. You are to be released to the surface with you. It wouldn't have been my choice, however, my alliances need to remain close. So you all, pack your stuff. I'm going to send you out today, at the end of the day. I'll be back. Comes around to the cells where you guys are staying at and says the same thing. You'll be going to Riverstorm.
That's what you said last time.
Yeah, well, I lied.
Yes, you did.
I don't have a reason to lie this time, do I? I was delaying. Do you understand that?
Oh, I get it.
This time, you're gonna leave. And if we do see you down here again, you'll be sacrificed to Loth.
Perfect. I look forward to the day.
You can join the many other souls that have met Loth already. She skitters out of the cavern, and they leave you alone for another few hours. You want to do anything in this time?
We don't have our spells back yet, do we? For the day?
No. Same day.
I got nothing.
Three hours pass. And they don't come. The night passes. And they don't come. The morning comes, they serve you the food, just like normal. And they don't come. The afternoon, the night, get your second meal of the day, they're still not there. The next morning, you can tell me when to stop.
I was gonna say, do I get to try to cast the spell magic on the thing again?
So this will be the day they don't come when they should have.
Okay. First one. Can I tell how many more enchantments are on the lock cage area?
Give me an investigation check.
19.
You think there's another 3 enchantments on.
Would I have any clue as to what they are?
With the 19, you know one is still that hardened, what you think is hardened metal.
Mm-hmm.
One seems to be resistant to elements of different sorts, like colds and hots. You're not sure about the other.
I will start with the one that I'm not sure on for Dispel Magic.
Okay.
Because of that one. 16.
16.
So if it's 6 or lower.
You're not even sure exactly what this enchantment is, but as you cast it, all the bars of the cell door start to glow almost like a red hot and slowly dissipate back down to that gunmetal color of metal.
Okay.
And you're sure that you have dispelled it.
Resistance to elements is next. 19 plus 1 is 20. 10th level lower.
Completely take away all the resistances of whatever this cell was made to keep in. You know that cold and hots would affect the metal now.
I'll whisper to the dwarf, be like, I've got one enchantment left on the bars before they're just normal bars. I don't know.
What can I do for you?
Got one more day where I have to try to fix it. If they do come for me, I'll try to get it down to as base as I can so that you can try to get out.
Sounds like a plan, I
also want to scope the room to see if there's another person or thing that looks like it'd be very strong. That orc probably looked like the strongest guy.
that you can see from here.
Okay.
Because you can't really see into any of the other cells. You can see the other cells, and if the people were to stick their bodies or their hands out, you could see them, but you can't see into them.
Okay.
Oh, I missed it.
I'll let the next day pass.
Your coffee cup. Sorry.
No.
Turn.
He's campaigning.
Ah, gotcha.
I'm sorry.
I thought you were pointing at the book.
No. Sorry, guys.
That was before all this went down.
Just waiting to get my
No
spells
humor
back
left.
And the next day comes.
now. So I can do more spells?
Are you guys doing anything in this time?
I am staring at the wall, punching holes in it
With Firebolt?
occasionally.
With fists?
Occasionally.
It hurts.
And I am filling up my bucket.
With poop? Oh, that look of evil right there. Alright.
And I'm just, I've reverted a little bit. I'm just meditating like I would see Garvan do. So I'm just sitting Indian style,
Okay.
head down, meditating.
You've gone quiet and into yourself.
Introverted, yeah.
The next day
Interrupted.
comes. They serve you your crappy breakfast. But today, more footsteps come through the halls. And there is an entourage of drow that come with a satchel that you saw them tie up at one point. They set it down in the caverns right outside your cell door. They open your door. Sasha's not with them. There's 4 drow here. You're to come with us. We're gonna lead you out of the river dark. And when we do, you're gonna go to the surface. We'll point you in the right direction. Don't come back here.
Don't plan on.
They walk over to your cells and open the doors. They open a couple other doors that you haven't seen. And that's where the half-elf that you haven't even heard hide nor tail of is. And he walks out and he looks pretty raggedy, pretty dirty. And that elf is also with him. They let Porthos and Darnell, they get everyone out of their cells. Alright, you're all to come with us. They walk you out, still manacled at the hands.
My tail loops under the handle of my bucket, and I drag it with me.
Quietly.
I don't know.
Slide
How
of
full's the
handy.
bucket?
Full.
Nice. No.
He looks at you, he's like, leave that there.
It's mine.
No, it's not.
Taken so much from me.
You have your life. You want to keep that?
Maybe. You want my shit?
No. Do you want
And
this?
what
And he
do I-
reaches into his pocket and holds up an amulet that swings like a pendulum.
Fair trade.
Do you want to die today?
So you don't want this to be a trade? I don't really understand. You want me to leave this or no?
Leave it.
You want me to get that or no?
Is your friend okay here?
I don't think so.
Merit.
Come on.
Seeing
Put
his
it over
friend.
my neck, and I don't bring the bucket. You can keep it.
He holds it up to you.
I dip my horns toward him. Come on.
He moves it over the bucket
Uh-huh.
and drops it.
Wonderful. Oh, I'm just gonna bring this with me then. I drag the bucket, now even more loudly. With every step.
Follows, but he has his weapon drawn, and he seems at attention. And they walk you out of the caverns until you get outside of the city, and Sasha is standing there. They walk you to.
He's just taking his bucket of shit, Ryan.
Someone lost it. Alright. They set down your equipment in the bundle. Sasha looks at you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Mara reaches into his bucket and grabs his pendant and puts it over his neck. It's pretty gross. You've all been released from the dungeons of Riverdark. It doesn't happen. Feel blessed. Don't come back here. If you do, I will personally execute each and every one of you. That understood? To get to Riverstorm. To get to Riverstorm. Follow these caverns. You'll see the running water. Once you get through these caverns, you'll find where the sewers run into Riverstorm. You can get back to the city through the sewers.
What did they do with him?
With who?
Delaran.
Your friend. Your friend killed a royal family. They probably killed him already.
This is the goblin's fault.
I don't care. She just turns around and walks away. Skitters away. As well as all the drow. They leave you there with all your items. Now everyone's standing around a bucket.
So I start picking out my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start
Same here.
handing other stuff.
Darnell, like,
I'm going to take something of Delaran's that's in that bag.
Okay.
Don't know what is in there, but I'm going to take something.
The only thing left of Delaron's is his shield.
I take it.
Everything else seems to have been taken.
Including his bag of holding.
No, that's still there.
I'll take that.
With all the money, none of that's been taken. Your sword was left. But his sword is gone. His armor. Any of his personal things, like his ring, is gone.
I'll start putting on my armor.
You start strapping on all your plates and your armor and buckling up. Darnell is doing the same. He's putting on all his plate armor. Porthos, he's putting on these heavy hide leathers. Other than the sounds of armor being tightened and strapped down, it's quiet in these caverns, and the echo is bouncing off the walls. And you can hear everything in here.
I look to Merritt.
As well as do a couple others.
He's kind of holding onto the shield.
Merritt. Seems Delaran was on a suicidal path since he started. You think he's still alive?
No. I was not strong enough to save him.
No. Don't.
If I was stronger,
That's always the case, isn't it?
Delaran made his choice.
Darnell looks at you, he's like, we're not all strong enough to save everyone.
I need to be.
Merritt, Delaran killed himself. He made his bed, and he's lying right now.
Probably a grave, not a bed.
I'm sorry for your loss. Is there anything that we can do?
Let's just get to the surface.
Let's hope that the queen has made it already.
And your small friend.
Quillen. Aye. He was a good companion. He had his faults. But I think he was making a turnaround.
I know the feeling.
Do you worship any gods?
I have for a long time.
Aye. Gods are looking down on you right now. They give you their strength. Cord gives me my strength. Protects me where I go. And he brought you to us. Protect us. I'm grateful for that.
I would be too grateful. We don't have the best record of keeping people safe at the moment.
Let's go.
Let's go.
The group moves through the River Dart, through the Underdark. You eventually come to a place
just leave it on the road. I throw the bucket.
Merritt empties his bucket of feces onto the side, just in the cavern, a little shrine of we've been here. Throws the bucket down the cavern. You can hear it bouncing down. Ting, 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 ting. Darnell puts his big meaty palm on your shoulder. Let's go. And they walk you through as well. You can go ahead and give me some survival checks as you're walking and winding through these tunnels and caverns.
Oh, no.
Oh, and you're the only one without inspiration.
Oh,
What happens on your first leg of the journey?
I don't know. I don't know,
Look
Ryan.
back around to the
Yeah, like
we go back.
we circle back.
So, eventually, as you're walking around, you get back to the same tunnel where there's a bucket and a shrine left by Merritt. And it's taken you about 30 minutes to get back here.
Somebody else left a shit bucket.
No. There's only one person, one tiefling that could lay such a nasty shit.
Are you sure?
We're back where we started.
Are you sure? You need to
Yes.
taste it to make sure.
One moment.
You're
that's
right
Merit.
there.
That's Merritt's.
Yeah, we're back where we started.
Yeah, that was, well,
I know that we've all been through a lot. You more than others.
maybe it's a sign we need to go back.
Go back.
Maybe we can go back. Maybe he's still alive.
Maybe he's still alive, but didn't he get taken by the dwarves?
Yeah, he got taken by the dwarves. That doesn't mean he's dead.
You know where they live.
Well, we've been there once. I don't know if I can get us back, but
Hack was our guide. We don't have him anymore.
maybe it wasn't a sign. Let's continue.
After you.
Try it again.
Sure, you try to get your bearings.
Am I able to use the help even though I'm not proficient because of Jack of all trades?
This should be easy, guys. I have +7 on this, right?
I know, I'm just trying to make sure you don't get another
You can
one
help
here.
him. So you can roll twice. Hardigan's now up there with you.
7. A natty 20.
Yes.
Natural
thank
20.
you.
There you go. The opposite of last time.
1s and 20s, that's what we do here.
You take a different offshoot this time. Instead of going right, you go left. And eventually you hear the sounds of trickling water going down these caverns. You start following the water to the sewers. Get to the sewers, and once you get to the sewers, it's just easy from there. Straight shoot into the city. Get into the sewers and give me a perception check.
Just him or?
All of you.
Oh, I almost used the curse die. Natural 20.
16.
6.
As a group, you succeed. You notice that the water is much heavier than it was last time in the sewers. And you would assume the city has been recently flushed, where they've opened the tidal gates and let all the water flow through the city and wash the muck away.
I kneel down at the water. The necklace off. Dunk it.
Good. I'm glad you're cleaning that up.
Is the water clean, or is it just kind of mucky water?
At this point, it's mostly clean.
I'm just gonna kind of I'll kneel down too, but I'm gonna just kind of get some water on my face.
I wouldn't do that. That's not the most pure water there.
Oh, I just needed to wake up a little bit.
Here, I got one better. Use the alchemy jug and say water. A gallon of water.
Oh, thanks.
There you go.
I'll start chug it and I'll pass it around.
Everyone drinks from the water.
Have we had a full rest?
Yes. Y'all have all your spells, all your hit dice, all your hit points. And you make it to the surface of Riverstorm. You find a grate that you're able to eventually open with the help of Borthos. Push the grate open, and it's nighttime out. Dark in the city, and you hear the sounds of frolicking in the streets and ruckus around.
Do I have the magic hat still?
Yeah.
I hand it to Merritt. Merritt, can't afford any more setbacks. Once you put this on, disguise yourself. Tieflings are not liked here.
Who said that?
Well, I just assumes because there was the bar,
What bar?
the Rusty Nail.
Tieflings aren't unliked here. Not that I've heard.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry, Merritt.
I'm still wearing your hat. It just doesn't disguise me.
What kind of hat is it?
It's a fedora.
You look very nice.
Looks like
Well dressed.
Looks like a bucket.
Oh no.
Don't shit in it.
Oh, the king has nobles that are tiefling here. There's people in the world that discriminate everywhere you go. People here that don't like dwarves. There's dwarves that don't like elves. No matter what.
I need to go find Hank. See if he's still here.
I believe we're supposed to talk to the king.
Alright, you mentioned that.
What do you think happened to the queen?
I'm gonna go find out right away.
Yeah, let us know when you do.
My first order of business.
We need to speak to the king as well. But
You have mentioned that.
I think we need to go
You
talk
can come
to
with
him.
me.
We can we talk to our friend Hank first?
Aye.
Alright.
Find Hank.
Where can we meet you?
Well, we're going to the castle right now. We're going first thing.
Let's just go.
Just go talk to the king now?
Yeah.
We can talk to Hank afterwards. Let him know what's going on with the king then.
If he's still around.
If he is, yeah.
So you all walk through the city, through the nobles district, through the royal district, and when you get to the royal district, there are guards there. And Darnell goes up to them. Give me a perception check.
16.
7.
13.
You can see him lean into the guard, and he does this. He shows him something on his hand, and the guards open the gates for him.
Oh, do I have all my papers back?
Here you go. These are all yours.
You didn't even look at it?
Well, they weren't mine. Plus, they've been in his pocket for months. You can keep them. You can open them for me.
We'll get there.
Yeah? Cool.
He walks you through the royal district, and you're now an entourage. There's 7 of you. Yep, 7 of you. towards the castle. And when he gets to the castle, he talks to the guard. This time you guys are closer. He's like, "Hi, Torvon." Hear that from the conversation. And the guards tell him that he can go in. They summon an escort, one of the servants that escort you all to a room of your choosing. It's an elf lady. She's dressed pretty nicely, but not noble dressing, just servant dressing. Come in, come in. Where would you like to stay? We have many open rooms right now.
Just pick one.
Okay, come. You all want a separate room? Do you want to bathe? I can get the ladies to draw you a bath.
Well, we are visiting the king here soon.
To be presentable.
Come. She walks you all to a bath. And they help you bathe if you want their help. They don't show you shame or.
Not gonna ask for any help. I can take care of it myself. So.
Right. They'll start scrubbing you if you let them, and if you don't, then they'll leave you to it.
File down the horn tip a little bit, round off the edge.
You guys get through the bath, all cleaned up. They put out fresh linens for you, clothes if you need them. They're not royal linens, but they're clean. They're white. Some of them have white and blue trim. And they lead you to your room. Do you guys want to do anything tonight?
I can ask, is it Darnell? When we're gonna get news about the queen? I'm a little bit worried about that.
I haven't found anyone that can tell me yet. But I'll let you know first thing.
Easy find out? Okay.
You all want the same room?
No.
Separate room for Merritt. You too?
I've heard do. You want a separate room?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
They give you all your own rooms, and each room is large, much larger than one person needs. The walls are adorned with tapestries of different artistic scenes, and some are tapestries of different gods and wars that have been fought between gods and devils and demons. There's some that have tapestries of angels on them. All the furniture is adorned, very finely crafted woodworking, engraved. Lots of filigree around the trim of the rooms. It's royal living. It's much too spacious for you. You lay your head down in the bed, and sleep finds you easier than usual.
Well, yeah. He's been sleeping with a bucket of shit by his head for the last week.
And it's the best sleep you've had in a month. You've been on the road for quite a while.
How long now?
Well, you left on, what, the 13th of Jarvik?
No, we went.
We're in Findinis now.
Yep.
The
Indonesis.
23rd.
We were
It's about to be the Hunter's Feast.
2 weeks.
Is it now?
What day did Delaron die so I can just mark that?
The 20th.
Oh no, not on Shar.
It's only fitting that he died on Shar.
Okay.
And you all awaken. And Darnell is there to greet you at the doors. If you don't come out of your room, you hear a knock.
Open the door.
Darnell gathers you all around. I got good news. The queen has been saved. Our friend Quillen brought her back. You are very much a part of this. If it were not for you, she might still be down there. I don't think they would have treated her a queen for royalty. They'd have probably tried to keep her or ransom her or worse.
That's why I did it.
Did good.
Cheers to Artigan.
I appreciate it. He goes to give you a hug.
I'll accept it.
And he embraces you, and it's a very tight, strong hug. He does the same for you two as well. He wraps his arms around Merritt. Thank you. Again,
Glad to
sorry for
hear.
your loss.
Something good came of this.
Merritt, have you prayed this morning?
Not yet.
Let's go outside. I'll sit with you. Merritt, it's important.
You seem to have gathered us all for potentially more than just this news.
Well, we'll talk to the king a little later today. For now, I just told you first thing when I knew. I didn't want to wake you, but I wanted you to know when you woke up.
Thank you.
Do you want to join us down there for some breakfast?
Absolutely. Just after a little bit. I think Merritt needs to do his prayers.
Been a while since you've seen the sun.
Aye, it's a gorgeous sky at that.
Well, then that's that. We'll go outside.
You'll walk outside.
And while we're walking outside, I look to Merritt and I go, it's important not to lose yourself. I speak from experience.
Very well.
You get outside and the sky is first light. The sun hasn't crested the horizon yet. You step out into this extravagantly beautiful garden. All the bushes in the garden are sculpted into different monsters or creatures or angels. All the stonework is finely crafted. There's a few different fountains that are spitting water magically. Cherub on one of them that's shooting an arrow into the sky. And you can see the sun just over the horizon of this city. And it crests the landscape. You can feel the warmth again of being out of the Underdark. Even though it's still winter out, Glim can feel the warmth of the sun touch your skin.
It's a beautiful day. Merritt, are you all right? That's not an actual question. I'm sorry. I know you're not all right.
Better than I was yesterday.
There he is. There's the positive Merritt. Though I think it's a little forced, I'll accept it.
Forced.
Merritt, you're scaring me a little bit, man. Though I understand.
I haven't been able to save quite as many as I thought I might be able to on this journey.
Well, remember Sam?
Mm-hmm.
Though he's not one of our biggest fans, he's still alive.
What's that?
You saved him definitely from my arrow. Dalaran's sword. That's worth something, right?
Oh, for sure.
You've saved us countless of times. I'm the one that with a vision that says that I had to protect you, but you've saved me from so many spiders. And you're only getting better. So we just
You
keep
hear the
moving.
sounds of the doors burst open, and you see a bunch of children running out of the castle, and they're happy and excited and playing through the snow. And they're like, hey! And they run right past you, and one of them looks up at you guys and smiles a big toothy grin and trips into the snow and falls face first. Gets up and brushes himself off and runs off after his friends.
They
You
all
hear the sounds of children playing in the castle.
human?
It's a mix. There's some elves. There's a lot of elves. There's a few human children. There's some half-elf children. There's about 15 in total, from anywhere from 3 to 9 that have come outside. And there's even a tiefling child in there.
Look at the children, Merritt.
Yeah.
It reminds you of your friends at home.
It just makes me nervous. Something came out of the dark and took the queen. Someone came for one of them. Great adventuring parties go down, and they ring the bells.
Merritt, if you want to go back down there, you just say the word and we'll go. But I think it might be more prudent to push forward.
When I go back down there, I will. It will be for revenge, and not to save anyone. And right now, that is not why I'm here.
And I think it's time to see the king then.
I think so.
At this point, the sun is now fully in the sky, unhindered by clouds or cover, melting the top of the snow, shining deep into you. Darnell comes out, as well as Borthos. They're holding plates of food, and they seem to have good cheer about them. And Darnell comes and sits next to you guys. Sits on the bench right next to you. Feels nice to see the sun again. Nice day out.
Absolutely.
I brought you some food. Thought you might be hungry. That shit we were eating was awful.
What was that?
I don't know, but it's not sitting right with me.
It looked like it came out of Merritt's ass, didn't it?
He smiles and looks at Merritt to see what he does.
Garfon.
He gives a chuckle, can't even help it. I Here you go. He hands you a plate. It's a full breakfast of bacon and eggs and sausage, and it's a great meal. It's the best thing you've had for a while. And he just sits with you in silence if you choose, or in quiet conversation or cheerful conversation, or if you go darker, he goes darker with you. He just sits there as a friend, as an ally.
This is a great place for a storm.
Hey, it's not like back home, but
Oh, where's back home?
I'm from Iranex.
Oh, where's that at?
You go north, past the mountains, into the tundra. That's where I'm from. It's a beautiful land there. They call it the frozen wastelands.
Wasteland. That's beautiful, huh?
Well, you don't see much people around there. You could go for miles and miles, days upon weeks without finding anyone. There's somewhat of a beauty in solitude.
Absolutely understand what you're saying there.
Yeah. You like that solitude?
I
Where
think
you
I
come
used
from?
the forest. The Calcati forest.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh, yeah. It's burnt down now. So it's in the past. Then I spent most of my time in solitude afterwards. Until I met these guys. Now I'm thinking...
Did you
Haven't
find
come-
yourself there?
I don't know, not yet. But I think so. I think these guys here helped me a lot.
My nan always said that you find yourself best when you're alone.
You can also lose yourself.
Aye. I guess there's that. Well, here's to not losing ourselves, and here's to finding the queen.
And I raise my glass and I look at Merritt to not losing ourselves.
He clinks glasses, and he has some fine ales for breakfast, definitely. And drinks deep. We'll be talking with the king in his hall a little later. You're all welcome to join me. You're a part of this as much as we are.
That'd be appreciated.
Do you know what you're gonna say?
Have no clue. Merrick, do you still have the writ?
Yep. We're gonna ask for aid up at the wall.
That's what we'll do.
I guess we're here for the same purpose in a different way.
Was that right?
We're gonna ask for aid as well.
What kind of aid do you guys need?
Well, we want to... I'd rather speak to the king first.
That's fair enough.
It's gonna be his decision in the end.
Well, hopefully he's a just king.
I've only heard good about him.
What's his name?
King Galen. The Randoras. I never met him. My nan has.
How long do we have for that meeting?
In a few hours. You said you wanted to meet someone here. You probably got time for that.
Yeah. Do you guys want to go find Hank? I do say that in game. You guys want to go find Hank? Hank.
Yeah, we'll find Hank.
I also need to head over and talk to my uncle. Never got to complete conversation.
Do we have time for that?
Well, that's what I'm hoping. If not, perhaps we have to split up to cover all the ground.
Whatever you think, Merritt.
There's no way. I'd rather not be late for our meeting with the king and ruin the whole point of us coming down here in the first place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go find Hank, and then we'll find your uncle. Or how about you find your uncle, and we'll find Artig and we'll find Hank.
Are they vaguely in the same area? I don't remember
They're
where
kind
we
of
left
the same
them.
area.
When you left Hank near the wall.
Yeah, he went over to park it somewhere. I don't know what he's been doing for 2 weeks.
You didn't actually arrange a meetup point, so you'd be on a hunt for Hank.
You're a good tracker. You can probably do that faster than... Yeah, how about we meet back here in 3 hours? See if we can find anyone for then. We can just all split up or go as groups, whatever. But that way we can try to track down all those that we need to meet.
Yeah. Are you okay with that, Arrogant?
Well, you said the meeting in the king in 1 hour?
3.
3 hours?
So he set up a 3-hour meeting point.
So if we meet up here 2.5 hours,
Works.
just to make sure.
Okay. So you're all splitting up, or you two and Merritt?
We'll go. Well, what do you think? Or do you want to? Should someone stay behind just in case we don't come back for some reason?
Why don't you go with Merritt? I'll go by myself.
Are you going to go to Hank? Or are you going to?
You guys can go to his uncle. I'll look for Hank. And then you can look for Hank if you get done with his uncle.
Maybe I'll stay here then. You go get Hank. You go talk to your uncle. And just in case you guys don't return, I can talk to the king.
Yeah. I don't foresee that happening, but just in case, I take out of the satchel, hand you the writ from Gloriosa Everlight, treating for help. I imagine it won't take that long.
Sure.
But better to have that covered than...
You know, you're better at tracking. Maybe I should stay behind if one of us is.
Okay. Cool.
And on it goes until you split up, you stay. Split 3 ways. All right.
Boom shakalaka.
Talking.
We wanted to do it.
Do we have any spare funds? I don't know it.
I don't know.
We ended up not
Actually, I
paying
have
Hack, so we perhaps
these.
saved some money.
Can we look in this?
Yeah.
I hope he's
I
watching
got the
right
bag
now.
of holding.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he's got.
Fun times had by all.
Especially by me.
Oh no.
Captain Sadistic.
Yeah.
I can only try to push you to the edge so much until you jump.
Cast Featherfall. But we won't have Art with us this time. At least not for a little bit.
It's just 3 hours.
Yeah.
2.5. We'll be good.
Yeah.
We can fast travel, right?
Sure.
Thanks.
Go ahead and roll your survival. You're running around the city looking for Hank.
Oh god. That is a 6, 7, 13.
13. So in the first hour, you hear no tales of any Hank left around, or any old man with a wolf, as you might describe him to some other people.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll again in the second hour.
I want to leave enough time to get back, though.
Okay.
Natty 20, baby!
Natty 20. Hank, someone actually knows your description. Old man, has a husky dog, looks like a wolf. He has a cart that is empty and had wolf fur laid down on the seat. He remembers specifically that this man had left about a week ago. He's not exactly sure when. And he said he left with 2 other people. He gives you what he remembers. With your natural 20, it sounds like he's trying to describe the one you had met from Deep Marsh.
The elf and the other guy. Cool. Well, I'll just maybe I'll try to hightail it back after I talk to that guy to maybe catch Merritt on the way out of his uncle's so we can walk together back to the castle.
Okay. So you go to the bar, the Rusty Nail. That's where last you had... Well, actually, you last seen your uncle at his house. Yep. So where do you go?
I'm going to head over in that direction, and whichever I would walk by first. Probably his house, hoping for, rather than the bar. But I'm also looking for places of business that may deal in arcane goods. I stole a little bit of the money from the pot.
Sure. So you find... two places that deal with arcane goods. One is the Enchanter's Arcanity. And one is Merle's Rods.
Rod.
So I'll go into the first one that I see.
So you go in, and he has a small shop. It's a little wooden hovel, almost like a hole in the wall. It's tucked in between 2 buildings. It's very small. And you walk in, and he's got this tiny little showroom with some wands that are just mounted on a wall that are hanging up by nails tacked into the wall. And there's a few spots where there might have been wands at one time, and there's some spots that there are wands and rods tacked up onto the wall. And when you look at him, Merle is a human, old, balding on the... He's balding here and here. He's got a little front patch of hair, brown, and it's tufted up, kind of like a kid's hair would be when it's mussed.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, customers, how can I help you? Did you need? You look to be in the business of magic.
Yes, I hope to be.
What can I get you?
I'm hoping you have something that can act as an arcane focus of some sort. Spellcasting.
I have some very simple focuses. I also have some very elegant wands. Are you in the business of wands?
Potentially. What do you have there?
Oh, I have much to do, much here. I have some wands and some staffs, and he points to the corner. There's a bunch of staffs that are just leaning in the corner.
Very good.
I have... This one's very neat. I don't know what's your price range?
How much gold did I take out of the bag? I don't even know. How much is in there? And then I will roll for how much I just kind of...
In the bag of holding that Delaran had?
Probably.
He had written down 314 copper, 2220 silver, 75 gold, 50 platinum.
Oh yeah, we spent like all the money on
550
armor.
gold. That's the platinum. 2,200 silver?
Yeah, 2,220 silver.
Is that 220 gold?
Maybe. So I'll say I just reached in blindly and took kind of a handful.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's see what
When you tell him, he's like, oh no, oh yeah. We'll stick with the simple focuses today.
I took. 41 gold, which is
Mark
actually
that
I
up.
have way more than that in myself, but that puts me at about 100 gold total.
Okay. We'll stick with the simple focuses.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Go ahead and look through the book.
Yeah, for the speeding along this point, I will say I'll pick one out, and then and then depending on how much they cost, I mean they're super cheap probably.
I think they're like tens of golds.
Tens.
Every increase is by 10 or 100?
10.
Okay.
You can always say dozens, but you always say tens.
Tens of golds.
Oh yeah, I mean druidic focuses are between
The
1 and
dozens and
10 gold.
dozens.
I think that's because
there
they're
they are.
wooden.
Crystals, orbs, rods, staffs, and wands. Orbs are 20, so that would be the max.
And he has some interesting designs, so if you have a design in mind, let me know.
Okay.
And he has actually different, like, diviners, emblems, and symbols, and there's some cool looking ones. Most of them are actually to Cord, though. Cord seems to be a very revered god in Riverstorm, from what you've seen.
I'd say I'm looking for. I'll look at one of the spheres, or the orbs. I really know how. I don't know if there's any like restrictions between classes, but I'll.
Yeah,
I'll
for
find it.
the sake of game, an orb will be just fine for you.
Okay. Yeah.
One of the orbs has Maestra's face on it, the symbol of Maestra with the flowing hair outward.
Yeah, I'll contemplate that one for a second and then put that one down. Get the next one.
The other one is just very simple.
What color is it?
Silver.
Just a silver orb. I think this one will do.
No problem. If you need anything, come back. Tell your friends.
Absolutely. Subtract. Plus 1 minus 20. Okay. And then. Thank you very much, sir.
You have a wonderful and blessed day. Sailor's light be with you. He points to your emblem.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. If that worked, I wouldn't have need to buy this. And then I walk out. So I tuck that into my pocket and I walk to James Anderson's house.
All right.
I'm gonna cry here pretty soon. My eyes are just watering.
There's no answer.
Get in the window.
You see the bed, but you can only see the foot of the bed, and on the foot of the bed is someone's feet with their socks half on, half off, and the blankets spilling across their legs, but it's not fully covering them.
Is the door locked?
Go to wiggle the doorknob, and it is locked.
So is this like a porch? Is it a front step, stairs?
So this is a hovel that's actually burrowed into the ground slightly. So you go down a set of stairs, like 3 different stairs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a tiny awning from the first floor that's above your head, and it's a little cutout where the door is.
So I'm going to lean to the window and hold on to the orb in my pocket. I'm going to cast message at the foot of the person. And it's just going to be an image of me at the door over and over and over again. I'm just going to pulse it at him. Wake up, 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 wake up.
You see the foot
wake
kick.
up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
Does it sound like
Sounds like
James?
James. Merritt, is that you?
It's
Of
me?
course it's you. See him walk up to the door, his shirt's off, and he's got just his underwear on. He throws his pants on real quick, one leg at a time, barely able to do that, and he seems... Let's try that again. He seems not even hungover, he seems a little drunk still. As he comes to the door, and you can smell the alcohol permeating from his breath and from his pores, and he rubs his eyes, pushes his silver, short-cropped hair back, and opens the door. Barrett, what time is it? It's so early.
What was your sister's name?
My sister?
My mother.
You want to do this now, Merritt?
Right now would be great.
Oh, yeah. Get your notes out.
Yeah, it's like... I'm glad to see that you survived that little incident we last met. The fellow with the armor was chasing you down.
Yeah, I heard a lot about what's going on. And I heard that you guys went down there. I
Yeah.
know that Quillen went down there as well. I
Yeah.
actually just heard that he brought the queen back.
Yeah, he was quite a hero.
My sister, Mary Ann. Some people called her Mariam. Just ran it all together, but Mary Ann, your mother. That's why you came here. That's it.
Mary Ann Anders.
Well, you don't get lucky all the time.
And then
I want you to be
Another-
clear. It's Mary Ann Anderson. We're not the ones that ousted ourselves from the family. That was Aaron. Aaron Anders. He is no longer an Anderson.
and the fellow she married.
Jackson.
What is his family name?
Let's see if I even have that written down. Abris. Jackson Abris.
So that would be my name. Think about it long enough. I would be an Abris.
He would be an Abris. Or an Everlight. Or both. There's nothing there that says you can't be both. Are you doing alright, Merritt?
I'm just thinking a lot about the way time passes and the same things seem to happen to every generation. And some
And what are those
Some.
things?
bad things happen. Others aren't quite strong enough to prevent those things.
Yes, bad things happen all the time. It's the way of the world.
Paylor's always been there to push back the darkness. Till I went into the cave. There was only darkness.
Well, that's the gods. They push and pull at each other all the time. The different gods fight their own wars. They don't fight our wars.
I've seen some gods fight harder than others. In some instances. Now this is supposed to be my trip where I ascend into a cleric. You want to know a secret? Paylor's never spoken to me.
Me neither.
once. He's spoken to my mother, Gloriosa. Spoken to the others. Everything I do by myself.
He's spoken to Aaron. He's also forsaken Aaron, where Aaron's forsaken him. One way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help you with religion. I'm not very religious myself, although we had the upbringing. I didn't really care for it much. And if you're looking for answers, you won't find them here. Give you some food and some ale. I'll give you a place to stay. You are my blood.
We gotta go talk to the king. I imagine we'll be leaving from there. I appreciate it, though. I'll look you up if I ever come back this way. I'll stand up and walk out the door.
And at that point, you see Garavan walking down the street, strolling, strutting, towards the same dwelling that you're coming out of.
Merit.
Mission accomplished on my end. How things go for you and Hank?
Unfortunately, it sounds like Hank's left with two from Deep Marsh about a week ago. But we'll find a
Good for
way.
him.
Exactly. Hank was never meant to be with us for very long.
Yeah, I'd say we probably used up all of his patience anyway.
Absolutely.
Those poor bastards who went with him. Let's go find this king.
Absolutely. Have you ever spoken to a king before?
Yes. 3 days ago. Start walking.
Mind blown. You're like, oh wait, we did that.
Yeah. Damn it. Well, I'm not intelligent, so.
Oops.
I meant a good king.
While you guys are out, Darnell is still back there with you. He's just sitting in the courtyard with you. So, what's your business here?
Just,
Your business.
besides asking for help for the wall.
I mean you.
Yeah. I lost someone and I was looking for somebody to resurrect her. I don't know if it requires me to get the body first or not, but
Sometimes, depending on the power of the magic.
yeah.
My magic is not so strong.
Looking to see my options. Eventually I plan on going against Mad Magnus and recovering the body of the person I lost, and need help doing that.
We're planning on going after Magnus as well. It's not going to be an easy journey. We'll need help. We always need help. Magnus is a force to be reckoned with. He has taken the world by storm.
You probably notice I'm somewhat out of it, kind of staring off in the distance every now and then. Unless he asks me a direct question, I kind of space out a little bit.
He tries to bring your attention back continuously.
Mm-hmm.
So this person, who was it? Who was she?
Juana Esther.
And what'd she mean to you?
We were going to marry.
So she was your true love.
Yeah.
And he took her from you.
Yes.
Did he kill her?
Yes.
You weren't around?
No. My villagers were.
Did he take the village?
No. He took her. The villagers didn't do anything about it, and he left them be. From what I've heard, it's
A small
uncharacteristic.
mercy, I suppose. He has the power to destroy an entire village himself, if he so wanted. Where are you from? What village?
I don't think I came up with the name of the town.
Uh-oh. On the spot.
On the spot. On the spot.
Figured out what the name of it was, maybe?
It's not there.
I'll say just a small town north of Oakdale.
Oh.
Alright, I get to name it.
Yes. I'll let you do the
Butt
honors.
stomp.
Butt Stomp. I love the name Butt Stomp. It's so majestic.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out where it is.
We can do a random town name generator.
You want to do it or you want me to do it?
Butt Stomp. Butt
You
Stomp.
can see who gets it first.
Rylden.
That works.
Ooh, I like that. Butt Stomp.
It's not butt stuff.
Rye.
Ryleden. Rylden.
R-I.
Leden.
Okay. Almost like Ryan then.
Just Rylden. Hey. You haven't heard?
Heard what?
Rylden's been socked. Not about a week ago. Maybe a little longer. Lost track of time a little down there under the underdog.
Any of the villagers make it out?
Don't know. Army going east to join Magnus. Army of goblins and hobgoblins.
Haven't heard anything about any villagers going south to Oakdale or anything?
No. Just heard about the town being taken. Although I don't want to make any assumptions because I wasn't there. I just heard. I don't want you to be surprised because that's something I'm here to talk about to the king as well. I'd rather you not hear it in the halls. Is your family there?
My dad was.
Do you have any other family?
Just a couple of kids I grew up with. Their parents.
Let's
Dad
hope
said.
that they had enough warning to get out.
So
Maybe we can find out here eventually. You know where they go?
I assumed to Oakdale. It's the biggest town in the area, and it's had a lot of refugees already. Been kind of going there.
Sorry to be the one to tell you. Just not your guys' day for news. You can come with us if you ever want. We have the best navy in the entire world. We have a bigger fleet than anyone else. And we plan to take that fleet and assault Magnus head on.
See what my friends say when they get here.
Don't tell them quite yet. Still want to talk to the king. He claps you on the back. I'm gonna go in now. If you need anything, just let me know.
Is it the meeting time already?
Not quite yet. I'll go freshen up.
Okay.
He walks inside. Eventually, these two come back. Do you sit in the courtyard the whole time, or it's a little chilly, but
I'm
you're
kind of
fine with
spacing
it.
out.
I mean, you're from the north anyway, so you're probably a little used to it.
Yeah.
And they eventually make it back through the courtyard. You're sitting there and you see them approaching.
They probably noticed me before I noticed them. Like I said, I'm kind of sitting there spacing out a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight check, you two.
Da-ba-da.
7.
9.
9. Artigan's just Artigan. It's another day in Artigan's life.
Oh, it's art again.
Man, Arctic.
Oh, hey.
Good job holding down that bench. Excellent job.
Yeah, kept it from blowing away.
How much time do we have left? Are we about ready to go?
30 minutes.
Some.
About the king comment. That was a obviously he was a false king. He's not a real king.
I mean, what makes a king a king? When everyone agrees that he's king?
Again, I'm really not that great at these things.
I mean, he was definitely part of the line, and it looks like Delaran killed the heir, and then the old king died, passing the crown over to him. Now we have an angry king of the underworld.
Underdark.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry again. I am not really good at making. I'm a little new at this.
No, it was good to point out. I mean, that was some good practice we had. I try to make you feel better, but you're not making me feel better. We got all those early king-like jitters out of the way.
Sure.
So if you guys don't have anything in particular to do for this next 30 minutes, we'll fast forward.
Mosey slowly toward the door.
Cool. It all comes back from session 1. Your quest to go to Riverstorm and talk to the king. It's midday, little afternoon, And you walk into the halls. There's quite a hustle and bustle about in these grandiose castle halls. There's a lot of people here. About 50 or so. Everyone here, for the most part, is dressed up in noble's clothes, in royal clothes. Posh, elegant. A lot of elves. There's a lot of humans and half-elves. There's a couple families that are tiefling. There's a couple families that are dragonborn. It's one of the first times you've really seen dragonborn outside of the castle. There's a few around here and there, but for the most part they seem to keep to themselves. But these dragonborn are also dressed up in royal clothes. And you see your friends, your new allies. Darnell, Porthos, Michael, Jesse. And you also see Quillen, who is up on the stage near the king, who is mingling with some of the crowd around the footsteps of the stage where his throne sits. It sits 4 steps high. He has a guard that all stand with him. The guard of, well, the river guard. He also has in his halls, at the end, 4 large, majestic griffins that sit perched at the sides of the room, at the ready. They almost seem like guards as well, with how still they stand. Seem like soldiers. They're very beautiful and majestic creatures, perched on their little hind leg things, whatever griffins have back there. And they're pretty large. You know that Riverstorm uses them as mounts. They can ride them. Anyone have nature?
You think I would, but I don't.
Jack of all trades.
Art again, it's you again.
Natural 20.
Boom! So many 20s today.
Griffin are one of the smarter beasts that you know of. They have their own intelligence, they can act independently, and they're not domesticated. They're not tamed. They're smart enough to be alliances, allies, or enemies. And they don't act on an instinctual intelligence, they act on a human intelligence. People seem to be chattering together. The air is very cheerful and happy. But the one thing you do notice is the queen is not up on the stage at this point, where a queen would normally sit by her husband's side during a hall when they're having audience. The chair is empty. You see some other folk up there. You can roll a history check if you so choose.
15.
15. There are a few folk up there. You're not really sure of all his men or his leaders, his generals, but you do know of one. It's Lawrence One-Eye, and you can pick him out of the crowd because he has this big patch over his eye, and he's a pretty big dude, and where at one time he might have been a great soldier, he has grown in girth and outgrown his armor. He is sporting a very large belly, but he still has the patch over his eye, and he walks with an air to him that he is a general. And he's the one that's talking to the king right now. The others, you're not really sure who's standing up there. It goes on for about 10 minutes while everyone's talking. You can mingle if you so choose with anyone.
I think I'll keep to just Already getting the merit.
If anybody else would keep Porthos, let's go kind of stand quietly by him.
He does stand pretty quietly. Eventually he looks over at you though, if you don't say anything, he goes, I'm not used to this. So, I've known Darnell a long time. I don't attend the audiences there.
Gonna be a lot of eyes on us today.
I'm more scared today than I was in those dungeons.
Yeah. Whatever happens here, it feels like we're gonna have to live with it for a while. And there we weren't so sure.
I can't just fight my way out of this one, can I?
No. But I do think he'll be fine.
Thank you, Merritt. Gives you a big pat on the shoulder. Eventually, everyone goes quiet, and the king sits in his throne. And you're actually not even the first up. He attends to some other petty business, taxes, and other things. Until it takes about 10 minutes till he gets to you, and Darnell, and Borthos, and Michael, and Jesse. The hall between sessions gets a little loud. They quiet everyone down around you. And the king asks you all up. Go ahead and roll a history, Artigan.
16.
16. In the king's halls here in Riverstorm, you know you don't have to kneel, if you so choose.
I'll probably do it anyway.
Darnell walks up with you, Borthos. Everyone kneels, if you guys do as well, if you follow suit.
Yeah, I do kneel.
Except Darnell. He doesn't kneel, but he does bow very low for a dwarf. The king looks over at you, and he's got this long silver hair and this mighty twisted crown, which looks like horns coming out of the spikes, twisted wooden horns. And the crown seems simple. It doesn't look like it's made out of metal. Welcome, heroes of Riverstorm, citizens from Oakdale, citizens from Iranex. I am King Galen Randora, son of Penin Randora, son of Theron Randora, ruler from the Dragonspine Mountains down to Jade Harbor, ruler of the greater Vanmire region. It is custom for those that are not my citizens that you shall not kneel. Please rise.
Stand.
First, I want to say it is an honor for all of you here to be in my halls. My queen is safe back at home. It would not have been this way if it were not for you. I want to thank each and every one of you personally. Darnell bows again. He looks up at the king. My king, it's an honor to be here in your halls today. When we heard the bells ringing in your city, in your castle, in your home, we knew that we had to act. And when we heard that the queen had been kidnapped, we knew that we had to find her. The Torvan clan believes in family above all else. And family is what brought us here today. But we'll get to that in a little bit. I want to say very first that we would not have been able to do this without help. Our friend, Quillen, the halfling there. He saw where the enemy went. He followed them down, knew where to find us. He knew to ask for help. And he acted as our guide down there in the Underdark. Without him, all would be lost. Your queen would be lost. He is the man of the hour. We don't ask for much for rescuing the queen. I'm sure he's already given you his spiel. That he wants a new life, to be forgiven for his past. And we've had a lot of talks together, a lot of heart to heart. And he wants to be under your service. It looks like you've taken him up on that. We appreciate that. One of our others asked for something as well, and that's it for this. He wanted to talk himself though. Before we get to him, did any of you want to say anything?
I'll let you go first.
Hi. He motions to the elf, and you've only talked to this elf maybe once. He always seems to be pretty quiet. Doesn't really say much to you guys. He has long silver hair and these real pale blue eyes. They almost meld into the whites of his eyes. Very striking look. And a very memorable face. He walks up. My king. I was once a citizen of Riverstorm. And I'm here to ask for your forgiveness. And I was actually here on my way to ask for that before this business with the Queen happened. I was once a soldier in your army. I was there at the Battle of the Bloody Wall, and I saw your father fall. I saw my father fall as well, and my brother. They both died there, and I left. You probably don't even remember me, and I wouldn't blame you. I was just a soldier in your army, but I deserted. And I went and I started a group out to the west, a group called the Huntsmen. And we fought for a while against whatever forces we found there. And I took in all the people that had left the battles, all the people that had left the armies. It's something I can never forgive myself for. And I don't take blame for the others, for the choices they've made. I just take blame for mine. And I'm here to ask for your forgiveness and to fight for you once again. The king looks down. What is your name? And the elf says, my name is Jesse Filler. Jesse, I forgive you and all your transgressions against Riverstorm, against my people, and against me. Darnell steps forward as Jesse kneels once again as a citizen of Riverstorm. My king, my great-grandmother, Stephanie Torvan, Queen of the Frozen Wastes, Queen of the Northern Dwarves, Mother of the Seas. She asks for your aid. We have the greatest naval fleet in the world, and we've kept the estuary safe. Safe from pirates, safe from raiders, safe from Magnus. We've heard that he's amassing a great naval army. This is scary. It's a threat to the world, not just to the east continent of Erishon. This is something that we need to deal with. We come here to ask for your aid. With our naval fleet and with your aerial force, we can fight him head on. We can assault him at Castle Fulgrim. We can defeat Magnus once and for all. We can make a new world and we can unite together. This is something that we want to ask. I'm having a difficult time asking you for this because I know my friends here, they also want your aid. They're dealing with their own difficulties. We all are. Some places more than others. He actually nods to you as he says that. Magnus presses his armies from the east to the west. It won't stop there. Eventually he'll take to the seas. He'll push his armies to anywhere he wants. And if he does that, the whole world is doomed. That is what we've come here to ask. I'll let them go though. And Galen motions you all forward.
As my recent friend has mentioned, Magnus is moving west. Received news today that Ryalden, my hometown, has been taken over.
As you pause, the king actually looks down. He's like, I'm very sorry to hear that.
I come with my group of companions from Oakdale, who as well is feeling the pressure and are looking for some form of resistance against Magnus. And any help that you can provide would be appreciated. There are two other things that I personally also would like to ask. One, my fiance was killed by Magnus. I was looking to see if you had anyone with the ability to bring back somebody who has died. And the second comes with a gift to the queen, actually. It is a trinket from a lost hero who I hope that you will help us make his name known as being a hero. His name was Delaran Cooper, and he died so that we could live. And I will hand him hand a guard or whatever is customary, the Ring of Protection +1. Present for the queen so she may stay safe.
So they take it from your hand.
Mm-hmm.
He looks down at everyone. Again, I am thankful for each and every one of you. I will think on all these words, all these requests. I will talk to my most trusted advisors and generals. I will make this my priority. I can't give you an answer right now, but I will give you an answer.
Understand.
And if there's anything else I can do,
I have one thought, sir.
please speak.
I am no military strategist. I am Merritt Everlight from the Citadel of the Sun in Oakdale.
I know your mother. She is a great and wonderful woman. She treated my wounds from the Battle of the Bloody Wall. Personally.
I'm glad she did so. If you choose to send aid, either to the wall or to the northern forces, I wish them well. Anyone you can send up there will be appreciated. But don't overextend yourself. There is a foe beneath you. I believe means you harm. Means all of us above. Some harm. There is one named Trollguff Delheek who has risen to his own throne directly below us. Place he calls the River Dark. He did ask us, over the blood of our friend, to deliver a message. There will be no accord between you. I did not want to let this moment pass without informing you that whatever bonds of trust may have been there appeared to be over.
I thank you for your warning. I will make sure to speak to my generals about this man as well. I have not heard of him. I have heard of his father, the Velheags.
He was third in line, or second in line, until a few days ago. Seems he is directing things now.
I thank you all for attending me, attending my queen, for being here in my city. You make this place better than it ever was. Together, we will continue to fight in whatever way we can in all capacities, no matter the outcome of my decisions. Please, stay around after the audience. I would like to talk to you all personally.
I also hand the guard the written.
The writ.
The writ. I assume I still have that.
He goes on to other business, tends to other people. Goes on for a long time. Long time. Couple hours. And it's boring. And it's not worth talking about. Little matters of no import compared to what you have all been through. But eventually, people start trickling out. By ones, by twos. Then they all start trickling out until everyone but you, the guards, the griffins, and the dwarf companionship is here. And Jesse and Quillen. Just the parties of the Underdark remain. He steps down from his throne and walks up to everyone to meet face to face. And when he gets next to you, he's actually kind of short. He's a little shorter than Garabon. Quite a bit shorter. It's like 5'10". But he holds himself very high. And he reaches out his hands to shake each and every one of you, your hands. And he grabs them with both and shakes them a sign of respect, a sign of honor. I want to thank you for saving my queen. I meant it when I said it in front of everyone, and I mean it now when no one's around to hear. She is the love of my life. Without her, I'd be lost. I want to grant you each one item from my armory. I will send you with my generals, and you'll be able to pick whatever you like. And if there is a day that we send men or make an assault, you're there by our sides. It would be an honor as well.
That sounds like a steal.
You are too generous.
I don't think there's enough generosity in the world for what you've done for me. And if I could, I would give you all the armies of the world.
Is the queen well?
She is well, and she is resting. She's had I'd say a fair traumatic journey. Please. He points towards General Lawrence One Eye. The big and, now that he's near you, very boisterous general and very loud. Alright, you lot, you're gonna come with me. We're gonna pick out some armors or weapons, whatever you choose. Come on now.
This is the fun part, guys.
I apologize, Your Majesty. I understand that this is a reward. I was wondering if there was any chance of the resurrection for the love of my life.
I will talk to my best advisors about that. You must understand, Magnus is one of the most powerful wizards in the entire world. And if he wants something, there's a reason behind it. And if he had just slain your love, your fiancée, it's possible. But there are magics that are more powerful than just bringing someone back from the dead. And we would need to know what we're dealing with before we even approach that subject.
I understand.
There are magics that trap people, trap souls. I don't know if you know much about magic. Do you know a bit?
I'm slowly learning.
Have you heard of divination?
Yes.
Magnus Monroe is a diviner. He sees things before they happen. He knows ahead of time what steps to take. He does not do things lightly. It's a very scary prospect. Because we believe he knows what's going on right now. If we're to make an alliance with the dwarves, he might know that. He might expect us to make a head-on assault. He's not the only one. The dwarves are not the only one that we're trying to alliance ourselves with. We have sent word to many cities. We don't feel the effects of the war as much as you do. As much as the towns near the wall. We have our own problems, yes. We have had our wars with Magnus, but we've sat back here in Riverstorm for a decade, rebuilding, regrowing our strength. But I will talk to them about it, and I will give you an answer one way or the other.
Okay.
And I am sorry, once again, not just for her, but for your town. It is not the first, and it won't be the last town that falls. And I have heard news about Ryldem. It's a fresh wound to add to all the others. And the worst part is, it's another army that Magnus has acquired. Lawrence looks at everyone's like, all right, well, come on with me.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go up. Thank you, Your Majesty.
Thank you.
He bows to everyone. And it's a gesture you would know that is not usually from a king.
Mhm.
And he walks back and walks with one of his other generals. A bald fellow with a giant scar across his neck all the way from one end to the other. And the scar protrudes a few centimeters out and it's thick and jagged. And Lawrence One Eye walks you over to King's Armory, where you're all gonna get to pick an item of your choosing. We'll make it rare. And he has almost everything in the world that's rare. We're gonna call it here. It's a good point to stop.
Letting us all shop for a while.
Yeah.
You can all shop for great and wonderful rare items. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Sorry there was no combat. There's a good development. We saw Merritt fight with his inner demons. I guess that's somewhat of a combat.
Sort of like combat, yeah.